entertainment of the home viewer, and is the family group that our producers and artists normally consider to be their audience. And so if this, your first introduction to television, is not by your own fireside, do believe me when I say that you'll enjoy it so much more when you meet us once again in the intimacy of your home, when you're sitting relaxed in your own armchair.
Hello, Radio Olympia. This is direct television from the studios at Alexander Palace. And now you're going to see and hear someone you know well.
Good evening. It's 1936, and this is the BBC, broadcasting the first television service in the world. Now you can see the sort of magnificent talent you've only been able to hear up to now on your wireless. So sit back and enjoy a feast of expensive visual entertainment.
You're looking at Type Major Massey, the bagpipes band from Trafalgar Square. Leone, the vagabond violinist. Harry Haynes, a muffin man. You're looking at Colonel Hughes, DSO-OBE, showing helmet of the British Cavalry Regiment. You're looking at Oliver Oldfield, who cleans London statue. Sergeant Major Lynch of the Royal Hospital, Chelsea, with 2 Chelsea pensioners.
All this remarkable output emanates from one place. When the BBC was charged with setting up the world's first high-definition TV service, the search was on for a suitable HQ. Finally, a site was chosen. A Victorian fun palace in North London would be the home of television, the world's newest and most exciting medium, invented a few years ago by John Logie Baird in a small back room in Hastings. I asked John about his invention and how it had progressed.
It is now 12 years ago since I produced the first little flickering television image. Today we have in London a regular television service twice daily with thousands of lookers in. Television has grown from a scientific novelty to a commercial service.
And can all of Britain receive television?
At present, the range is limited to 30 miles in and about London.
Thank you, John. So, if you're lucky to live in that 30-mile patch, here is some more of the sort of entertainment you can enjoy. Elaborate sets and charismatic presenters.
It's an example of Gainsborough's early work before he went to Bath and executed his famous portraits. And this is a masterpiece of another kind. It's a contemporary painting by a Spanish artist whose work, although he's over 50 and his reputation is enormous, his name is Picasso.
The rhythmic singing of that delightful artist, Nina Mae McKinley.
Baby, baby, leave the milk and butter out and hustle, just bustle along, so you can shout over 6'2", who's the king of Lennox Avenue, someone different with a something new, top a tree, top tall.
A refined form of Victorian burlesque. Elaine Playdor, sister of actress Lily Palmer, and her Viennese song. Soon after this last broadcast, but not directly because of it, we are at war with Germany. And we'll be back after the war.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Do you remember me, Jasmine Bligh?
Yes, television is back with the emphasis on entertainment. Now television is creating its own shows and its own stars. I asked one what television had given to him.
Well, nervous dyspepsia, indigestion, heartburn, all sorts of things like that, you know.
Well, I can see what you need an aspirin, but has it actually done you any good?
Yes, Aiden, it's done me an awful lot of good. In fact, I owe pretty well everything to television. It's given me great opportunities outside television. It's given me the chance to appear in a West End show. I've done my first film.
And do you get recognized in a lot of queer places?
I get recognised in ordinary places as well. Yes, all over the place. I get recognised. Sometimes, you know, it's very nice, and sometimes it's not so pleasant, you know.
And do you get many letters?
Yes, a number of letters. I even, upon occasions, get presents
What
from
sort?
people. Well, all sorts of presents. I mean, quite recently, I've had 2 shirts sent to me from a shirt manufacturer in Accrington, and I had from Leeds. I had a box of chocolates sent to me from Leeds, a couple of 100 cigarettes from Manchester, and from Bradford I had 4 ties. And I'm very grateful to those viewers who sent them. I am really. In fact, I'd come and thank you all personally if I had a car.
So, from those humble beginnings in Alexandra Palace, a giant industry has grown. New television stations are opening all the time.
Now, Sir Ivan, if you will press this switch over when I say now, that will open our station. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
15.
Thank you, Paul.
Here we go.
Good luck, everyone.
Black darting.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music. On 1.
There's no business like show business, no business I know. Everything about it is a pig in the traffic will allow. Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra mile.
So, Alexandra Palace has done her bit. She's served her country and industry well and deserves her rest. She retires from the fray with dignity and many happy memories of the pioneering days. Farewell, Ali Palin.
Come as close as you can. You must be crazy hanging around this place. I'm going to help you escape. I'm going to change places with you. You must be off your head. What's your name and number? Max Andres, number 6.
Well, we all have to start somewhere, and that really was delving back into the past. Overnight success usually comes after 20 years' hard slog. Actors who become household names because of one major role invariably have a history of jobbing performances behind them. Could it really be that years before his triumph in India, Gandhi, in the guise of Ben Kingsley, was supping ale at the Rover's return?
Oh, it's all right, up to you.
Oh, ciao.
2 pints is it? Aye, 2 pints it is. Do you live round here, then?
Yeah.
Didn't have a record round here before, have we, kid?
Ah, what for?
Birds. Oh. We picked up a couple of crackers at the looks, eh?
Did you?
We're waiting for them now. Glad to see us, there was a no. Not that we want to tread on anybody's toes.
Oh, that's all right, mate. We're married.
Oh, footloose and fancy-free, that's me.
Who are you?
I'm Martha, miss. I'm a housemaid. Did you have a good night's sleep after your journey?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, it's a beautiful morning for your first day at Misselthwaite. Looks lovely out there, no mistake.
What's that?
That there?
Yes.
That's Mother. Does they like it?
No. I hate it.
That's because they're not used to it. I expect they thinks it's too big and bare, but they'll like it in time.
Do you like it?
That I do. I just love it.
I had a mixture of feelings, sort of an aggression, an aggressive kind of, I don't know if it was a sexual feeling, it was a wanting to give, wanting to take, you know what I mean? And I felt aggressively sensual, I suppose, you know? I don't know why, I don't know.
Do you feel you were giving out? Who was in relation to Bob in this exercise? Who was near him? Who was
a few people.
Did you feel he was giving off this?
Yeah.
No, not with physical touch, but his body. Was he emanating this feeling?
It was physical, really.
So that's where Bob Hoskins learnt his trade. But that's actors. What about presenters, newsreaders and interviewers? After all, at one time they were all newcomers.
Carpet tiles never fray, and they always lie perfectly flat. In fact, the more you walk on them, the firmer they stick. Now, when you've worked out the quantity and you've decided on the colours that you require, you just fill in this order form and the carpet tiles will be sent to you carriage paid. If you like, you can also have them on easy turn.
Come, you masters of war, you that build all the guns, you that build the death flames, you that build the big bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind desks. I just want you to know I can see through your masks.
Kendal, which lies on the southeast fringe of the Lake District, turned out to be a lively and cheerful town. Kendal is the home of snuff, and in a side street, I found one of Mr. Gareth's men. His firm have been making it here for nearly 100 years. They told me they make over 50 varieties and invited me to try a few of them. Lavender. No, I don't think it's quite... Jonathan wants to try carnation. I don't think he really approves of it somehow. Perhaps he should stick to Kendal's other speciality, the famous mint cake, which was taken on the Everest expedition.
Two young men who successfully followed in their father's footsteps. Other stars, too, managed to grab the limelight from very early stages.
They're tired of persecution, they're tired of taunts, they're tired of losing their jobs, they're tired of being sent home from college, they're tired of being sent home from school, they're tired even of being refused the dole. So with the nucleus of some of his friends, a 17-year-old Davy Jones has just founded the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Long-Haired Men. Well, here we are. Long-haired men, you've got to have your hair, 9 inches long before you can join?
Well, I think we're past that over now.
Have you?
Yes.
Now, exactly who's being cruel to you?
Well, I think we're all fairly tolerant, but for the last 2 years we've had comments like darling and can I carry a handbag thrown at us. I think it's just had to stop now.
There is a lady sweet and kind, was never face so please my mind. I did but see her passing by, and yet I love her till it's I die.
So it's worth keeping your eyes on those walk-on extras and bit-part players, for who knows, one day they could be walking off with Oscars, or even leading their country.
You'll notice that women are put to ministries of health, housing, pensions, education, anything to do with welfare or with children. But on the whole, they tend to leave us out from the other departments like Treasury, Colonial Office, Foreign Office. Indeed, a woman has never held office in any of those really big departments of state, which are the major positive policy-making departments. I don't know why this is. I'm sure that it's not lack of ability. Perhaps the real reason is that it is, after all, a man, the Prime Minister, who makes the appointments.
Music, a raincoat, a match struck on a shady wall, the lighting of a pipe.
a simple sequence of events that became one of the most evocative images of 60s television. That opening told you much about the man and his world. The music conjured up the Parisian setting, the dim evening atmosphere showed you he was a man that worked into the night, and his calm demeanor suggested confidence and competence, and the pipe gave him a sort of paternal reassurance. It was a classic set of titles. Credits are not often appreciated, but their importance for setting up the tone of a program is invaluable.
Bold as a knight in white armor, cold as a shot from a gun. If you should look for a man who loves danger, to whom love is a stranger, this man is the one.
In the end, it's almost Pavlovian. The opening credits get you salivating for what's to come, and the closing credits leave you hungry for more.
that was credits, and credit where credit's due, which brings us, of course, in that rather awkward, linky sort of way, to Daring Do, hence the hat, which I'm now going to take off. Daring Do. Now, no one is quite sure what Daring Do is. It's basically standing around like this.
Looks as if you're stuck here after all, Taffy. Looks as if we're all stuck.
And laughing, not in that sort of reduced, minimalist sort of way. You have to laugh like this. That's the only way you could laugh, possibly, in these films, which, of course, centre around the late 1950s. They're meant to be about the Middle Ages of the 12th century, 13th century. You know, people with jerkins and those sort of battlement-shaped cuttings here on the leather jackets. But, of course, they are basically about the 1950s.
Good morning. That's right, my man. You have a jolly good look at it. You won't find its equal. There's only one man in England could make a bow like that. Peter the Saracen. You feel its strength, Robin. Ram's horn, whalebone, and wild boar's sinew. It's a powerful-looking thing. Powerful? It could outshoot one of your best longbows about twice over.
Oh, I've handled crossbows before, but they're clumsy contraptions. By the time you got your foot in the stirrup and latch the string.
Yeah. It's a great improvement, I grant you. But you'll never show me a crossbow that'll beat the longbow. No.
Take it from me, Robin. Will's always right. You may as well gather up your longbows and use them for broomsticks.
There's another sort of scene. That is where the hero, in this case Richard Green, who's always jolly and laughing at the stupidity of others, chases off a whole pile of people with egg-shaped helmets who look the wrong way, like they do in bad German films.
The hood misses.
Come away with William Tell. Come away to the land he loved so well. What a day when the apple fell for Palin, Switzerland. Come away, Tell, to the mountain-side. Look down to the path where the tyrants ride. Hit a ball, and down they go for Palin, Switzerland.
If you don't do that, you then do lots of very, very sort of over-the-top fencing scenes. And you can't just go into a pub, as people probably did then, as when, say, Christopher Marlowe was killed in Deptford, where he just got whoomph, stabbed through the eye. Everybody has to be involved. Even the cat straps on its épée. And everyone's fencing and slashing around forever. So it's quite knackering.
Stop! I command you. If you don't, I'll have you...
Not this time, milady. I have a special order from His Magnificence about this man.
Daring Do can also go to sea, and when Daring Do goes to sea, we get hats like this, worn by the villains or the people who are below decks playing chess or something during storms.
Oh, His Majesty's service, eh? It's nice to know there's at least one who wasn't a buccaneer.
But the central character, as fixed as a still point in a changing world, is still the same. Robert Shaw, in leather jacket and white blouse, is Robin at sea. And watch out for the carry-on training scheme.
Well, my pretty young gal, we're bound for the Rio Grande. The oak and the ash and the bonny birk tree. Oh, Rio! They're all growing green in the north countries, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. Then away, love away, way to Rio. So fare ye well, my pretty young gal, and we're bound for the Rio Grande.
That's a sweet one, that is.
Ah, the way he sings it, you can almost hear the snap of the wind taking the mainsail.
I'm Dan Tempest. Haven't seen you in New Providence before.
Shanty Jack, they call me. 41 years on the sea.
And in case you thought it was a coincidence, here's Joan Sims to prove the point.
Part of Delacour's gang?
I'm Tempest, ma'am. Captain Dan Tempest. I'm here under orders of Lieutenant Beamish, acting governor of New Providence.
A likely story.
Well, ma'am, I could convince you if I had the time. While we discuss the terms for surrender, do you think we could have something to eat?
I'll dictate the terms of surrender, and then you'll eat.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's great chow, mates. I never ate so well since I gave up piracy.
Robin des Bois, à travers les champs. Robin des Bois, s'en va chevauchant. Adorer des bons et pas des méchants. Robin des Bois, Robin des Bois, Robin des Bois.
Je suis...
Tu es.
Il est...
Et nous sommes.
Et vous êtes...
Ils sont.
Ici Londres, bonsoir.
When BBC television restarted after the war, it was determined to broaden its horizons in every sense. And at the head of this bold march into the future was the Outside Broadcasts Department, who regarded themselves as the corporation's light cavalry, and certainly we were bold enough to try anything. An early target was, of course, the English Channel, and so in 1950 the big Outside Broadcast vans were duly embarked on the ferry. Technically, the trick was to establish a cable and radio link to connect the live cameras in France to the transmitters in England.
Calais on the night of August the 27th, 1950. And there, bathed in brilliant light in the night in the Grand Place of Calais, the great clock tower and the Hotel de Ville. This your first sight of France by direct vision on this lovely summer night.
Once the channel had been bridged, the rest of Europe swiftly followed, and in 1952, British television viewers were taken to Paris for the first time.
French artists and British and French cameras, British and French producers and crews, different languages and different systems. These raised new problems which had to be resolved behind the scenes of our crowded and widely varied programs.
But the real turning point came the following year. The coronation in 1953 was the ultimate television outside broadcast, and its impact was of immense significance.
A year after the Paris programs had been seen in London, television brought to the homes, the shops, and the streets of Paris the story of a day of triumph and rejoicing in London's history.
The Parisians were able to see it live on their screens, even in the Champs-Élysées, but the Americans had to await the arrival of the film, flown over specially by the Royal Air Force in what was the world's first jet bomber, the Canberra. But that was only the beginning. For television to enjoy the worldwide coverage of radio, the technical challenge was of a different order of magnitude. A joint effort by Britain, France, and the United States put the world's first telecommunications satellite, Telstar, into orbit. Now the target was to bridge the Atlantic Ocean. Again, Richard Dimbleby was to present the program. My job was to cover the very first attempt to get pictures from America. And the newly built control room at Goonhilly Down in Cornwall was a very exciting place to be.
This is the main control room at Goonhilly Down, the point at which Telstar's first signals across the Atlantic will be received in the British Isles. Outside this building, 200 yards away, the great dish aerial, all 870 moving tons of it, will in a few moments be aimed at that point on the horizon over which Telstar will come swinging low in a few minutes from now. Here we are. Here we are. There's a bar. Now, we are anticipating... That's a man's face. There it is. There it is. And it's held on the right-hand monitor perhaps a little better than on the left-hand one.
Telstar was followed in 1965 by Earlybird, a satellite in a much higher orbit and consequently with greatly increased range and performance. Soon, the target was Australia.
Here's the satellite. You can see the angle which it subtends so that it is possible to bounce pictures from Australia here, this side of the world, out into space to the satellite and back down to our receiving station over here.
Hello. I'd like to introduce my wife, Laurie. Yes, here's Laurie, of course, and as Laurie is an Australian, you haven't seen her before.
Well, hello, Mother, and hello, everybody. Very late, I'm very sorry.
And Mrs. Brightwell, this end would just like to say something. Yes, Mrs. Brightwell?
Oh, yes. Do I speak to Laurie?
You can speak to whoever you want.
Oh, Liz, it's lovely to see you again after all these years now. And Laurie, thank you so much for your lovely letters you send me. So descriptive.
I'm sorry, we
of the
don't
place.
write more.
Still talking. Just
Sorry. I'm sorry we don't write more often, but my husband makes me work too hard.
In 1967 came the epic live documentary program Our World. The dream had come true. Television had girdled the earth.
This evening, by using satellites, microwaves, and landlines, we will link Europe with Africa, Asia, Australia, and America. Our world, 5/7 ocean, 2/7 land, 135 sovereign countries, the home of 3,400 million people. And tonight, for the first time, we can see right round our world from sunset to dawn by television. Television stations in 14 countries all round the world have joined up to make one program, this program.